the system with money.
Yes, we did. That's another way to think about it. We did.
Where does it come from? Do you just print it?
We print it digitally, and we do that by buying treasury bills. That actually increases the money supply.
Financial Turmoil Explained.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show on this October 23rd, 2022, a Sunday. Try to do several shows today. The first show right here, right now, we're going to be talking about the crisis coming to the financial system very, very soon. And on Delta Report, I'm planning on doing a show about the war, what's going on over there in the war, and then we're going to do a podcast for the Patreon channel, and I'm going to put links in the description. Now listen, guys, the links probably won't be in until later tonight, but listen, guys, I'm going to tell you what. My Patreon channel, it's only $1 a month, and I want to tell you guys about it. It really helps support this channel. Let me put a link to my Patreon channel in the description. $1 a month. Can you imagine that? $12 for the whole year. And you know what? I do podcasts over there. Probably going to be doing a podcast over there this afternoon on the events that's happening in the world, the news that's going on right now, which is ever changing, constantly changing news. Anyway, listen, guys, it really helps support my channel, so it'd be nice if you click on the link in the description. You find it down there, and head over to my Patreon channel and subscribe. And that really helps support me over here on YouTube. I really appreciate my subscribers on Patreon. But now let's get right into the subject matter. The financial system is getting ready to... The Fed is causing a crisis of unprecedented proportions with their... Well, they went for like 14 years or 15 years or something long like that, with interest rates down near the bottom. And now all of a sudden they've decided they're going to hike them to the moon. Well, there's a delayed effect, you know, hiking interest rates like that. And it's accumulative. What that basically means is, say they do the first one, it's a 0.5 percentage point. Well, that's nothing. But you got to understand that just that 0.5 percentage point is not going to show its effects for almost a year. Then they do 3/4 more. Then they do 3/4 of a basis point more. First thing you know, they're starting to get the rate up. Now, this is why it's cumulative, is because they're adding on. They keep adding on. It's like the game of Jenga, you know. I mean, when you first start a game of Jenga and you pull the block out, it's no big deal. It's easy. But what happens later when the cumulative effect hits and you got to pull that last block out? The whole thing comes tumbling down. That's the cumulative effect that I'm talking about here within this system. And the Fed's going to cause a mighty disaster. Is directly ahead. And it's taken a little bit longer than I thought. I thought it was going to start toward the end of this month. Maybe it will yet. The month's not over yet. Okay? But just because it takes a little bit longer than I thought, that doesn't mean it's not coming. So what is it that's coming? What is this crisis going to be? It's going to be a meltdown in the upper part of the financial system. Triggered probably by the debt market. It's going to be a tremendous meltdown. And I believe that unlike 2008, they were able to stop the crisis before it froze the financial system. I believe that this time it's very likely it's going to freeze the financial system, and then there's going to be a panic on the part of the central banks to unfreeze the system. And it's very much like when you have a car, you know, and if, say you took your car into the dealership and they were working on it and they had spanners or wrenches there, the mechanic, and say he wasn't a real experienced mechanic and he dropped the wrench down into the gears of your car's engine. Clang, bang, 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 pop, and the car backfires, and that's it. The engine goes dead. He goes, why'd you do that for? Oh, he didn't mean to. It slipped out of my fingers. Yeah, but now the damage is done. And that's what the Fed's doing to the financial system. And it's going to be just that sudden. They're going to freeze the gears and everything. And that's what I mean by panic. So how does the mechanic have to fix that? When he does that and he wrecks the car's engine, how does he have to fix it? Well, maybe it went down in the timing belts and everything else down in there, and the cogs that run and there's gears that run the timing belts, you know. So he's going to have to tear the engine down. Tear the whole front end off of the engine and find out what gears were messed up, what belts were stripped and torn. Maybe the timing belt was stripped and torn because the thing went down on the timing belt. He's going to have to redo the timing on the engine. He's going to have to replace different gears and sprockets down in there and in the timing belt and everything else, and then put it all back together again and hope it's going to start. Or you ain't going nowhere if it ain't going to start. So, yes, it can be fixed, and that's the way with the financial system, too. It can be fixed. The Fed's going to have to go in there and find out what institutions have been stripped of all their liquidity and they're going insolvent. It's going to have to do, and how it fixes those is it has to do liquidity injections. Bail them out, in other words. All over again like they did in 2008. They can't leave the situation because the financial system will be frozen. Nothing will work. What you're asking yourself, well, what does that mean? That means that you go into the store and they got a big sign that says, we don't take credit today. Cash only. That's what that means. And during that period in time, and I mean, it'd be all across America too. Like, we've had a few of these episodes where you go to the store and they say, well, the computer's offline today or whatever, cash only. You've had a few days like that. You've all run into that. But imagine it all across, everywhere you go, all across the entire country. And it not lasting a day or whatever. It lasting, it being a permanent, basically a permanent thing until they get it fixed. No bank transactions. You can't take money out of your bank. That's what it means. It means that the banks would just be closed. It means you can't access money, what you call money, which is basically credit, until they get it fixed. And you can see why there's going to be a panic to fix it. And the clock's ticking. Because when the whole thing freezes up, all the companies out there, I'm not talking about just your one company or whatever, just Walmart or whatever. No, it's going to be every company. It's going to be your company that brings in your internet service, a company that runs your telephone, the company that runs your power bill. All of these companies are not going to be able to make payroll. That's why they only got about 2 weeks to fix it. And that's why there's going to be a panic to fix it. But in fixing it, the amount of liquidity it's going to be required injected in to fix the mess that they created is going to spiral us right into hyperinflation. And that's the day when the fuse is lit for gold, silver, and cryptos. This is a moonshot, guys. An unbelievable moonshot. An unstoppable moonshot that'll never be stopped again. It's over for the dollar at that point. When they fix this, when they fix the mess that they've created right now, they're going to send us spiraling. Shock waves are going to go through the financial system. And immediately, you're going to start taking a haircut on all of these dollar-denominated assets that you hold in your portfolio. And you're going to wish you had had a bigger percentage in your portfolio of gold, silver, and cryptos. Because they're going to be going in the opposite direction. They're going to be going straight up to the moon. While your purchasing power on your dollar is going to be going straight down. So like I say, wait for it. This is coming. There's no stopping this now at this point in time. Thank you guys for listening to my show. Just remember, this is dead ahead. It's coming very soon. It's going to be problems. They just can't keep doing what they're doing. It's just going to lock up suddenly. And it doesn't take much now at this point to lock it up. Just some really bad stuff happen. That's going to happen. I mean, it's just coming at us from too many different angles. Okay, we'll catch you guys in the next show, and you guys have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.